ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुः श्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोद निराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तो ते मयि सन्तो। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। छान्दोग्योपनिषद. This Upanishad belongs to Samaveda. Vedanam Samavedo Asmi. Gita, when Lord Krishna discusses about his vibhutis, he says clearly that among Vedas, I am the Samaveda. So among all the Vedas, Samaveda is the most important Veda, because any ritual, Vedic ritual, done with Vedic fire only by a grihastha or a brahmachari or a vanaprasthi, never by a sannyasi, any such ritual is always done with Samaveda also. Rigveda, Yajurveda and Samveda combined together. Any ritual done by anybody according to the Vedic Sanatana Dharma. So, among that also the Rigveda mantras, Yajurveda mantras, these mantras are helpful only to put your obligatory things into the fire. But they cannot invoke the deities independently to invite them to come for the yajna, for the ritual that's going on. The most important thing is Samaveda. The Rig mantras are sung by Sama. It's just like the ragas sung in a bhajan. You write the bhajan. Ragas are not bhajans. But you can sing every bhajan in many ragas. Similarly, every Rig mantra can be sung by many different samas. Rigyadhyudam samagiyate. It's called Rigyadhyudam samagiyate. The base to sing the sama is Rig mantras. They are only mantras, but Sama is just like composed ragas. Similar to the rhythms, the rhymes called ragas in music. Which Sama has to be sung in which Rig, that is being defined by Sama Sanhita. Different Sanhitas are there. They define by Sama Vidhana. There is a book printed called Sama Vidhanam. There they tell which Rig mantras are usually sung in by which samas. And among The Samvedas also, it's there Samveda among all other Vedas. The Shakhas of Samveda are 1000 Shakhas. Sahasravartma Samaveda. Sahasravartma. 1000 branches are there of Samaveda. Out of 1180, the total number of branches are 1180 Shakhas of all the 4 Vedas. Out of that, 1000 is Samveda only. That means the rest 180 belongs to the 3 Vedas. So much less branches of that Veda. That shows the importance and the minute differences in singing pattern. Now also you can see the southern style of chanting mantras and northern style is totally different. That depending upon the different shiksha, granthas, books, how to chant the mantra. The different Yagyolik shiksha, there are already 24 shikshas printed, available at present in the market. But the most famous is the Yagyolik shiksha in North India, the Katyayani shiksha in the South. So only 2 major ways we are able to see the Vedic chanting. But when you go into music, you can see Rajasthani Gharana, Banarasi Gharana, they say in that way, and then many different traditions. Similarly, Samveda had got 1000 different traditions. Out of them now, that is available in India is only 4 branches, 4 traditions. Kauthuma, Jaiminiya, Talavakara and Ranayana. These are the 4. Kauthuma, Jaiminiya, Talavakara and Ranayana. And now that we are studying the Chandogya Upanishad, it belongs to Talavakara Shakha, Talavakara branch. And according to Sayana Bhashya, the Samveda is divided into 8 Brahmanas. Praudha Brahmana, Shadavinsha Brahmana, Samavidhana, Arshaya Brahmana, Devadadhyaya Brahmana, Upanishad Brahmana and Sahitopanishad, lastly Vansha Brahmana. These are 8 Brahmanas. And out of these 8 Brahmanas, the Upanishad belongs to Upanishad Brahmana, which is also called as Chandogya Brahmana. That is why this Upanishad is also named as Chandogya Upanishad. The Upanishad belonging to Chandogya Brahmana is called as Chandogya Upanishad. Chandogya. And this Upanishad has 10 chapters. Out of 10 chapters, Acharya Shankara has written commentary, Bhashya, only on 8 chapters. On the first 2 chapters, he did not write any commentary because most of it is only related to karma, the rites. And from the 3rd chapter, according to the 10 chapters from the 3rd to the 7th, the Upanishad from 1st to 5th is Upasana. The last 3, 8, 9, 10 according to the Chandogya Brahmana, and according to Upanishad that you are studying only, it is on the 6th, 7th and 8th chapter, is Nirguna Brahma Vidya, which speaks of the non-dual Brahman directly. These are all, before the 5 chapters, are discussing elaborately about the Upanishadic meditations to be done depending upon the rituals, the rites that you are doing with the Vedic fire or even without it. Therefore you can see in the booklet that I have given to you, the back of it, see in the back, bottom I have written the Upasana Bhedas. Karma Sapeksha Upasana, and karma nirapeksha upasana. The first division of upasanas can be done is karma sapeksha and karma nirapeksha. One that is depending upon the rites, the rituals. And the other type of meditation is which are not depending upon any type of rites, rituals, yajnas. The other name is called karmanga avabaddha and karmanga anavabaddha also. Karma sapeksha is called as karmanga avabaddha upasana and karma nirapeksha is called as karmanga anavabaddha upasana. Again the further divisions that we will look into later. So in the beginning there will be karmanga avabaddha upasanas, karma sapeksha upasanas. Up to around second chapter, 22nd chapter, 22nd Khandika, complete up to there it is completely karma sapeksha. Page number 3, you can see, I have written there, karma nirapeksha upasanani. It starts from there. So then up to 222 is karma sapeksha. From 223 up to 5 end is karma nirapeksha. And 6th, 7th and 8th chapters according to the Upanishad order, they are the Nirguna Brahma Vidya. This is the main, you can divide the whole of this 8th chapter into 3 divisions: Karma Sapeksha Upasana, Karma Nirapeksha Upasana and Brahma Vidya. Karmanga Anavabaddha, Avabadha and Anavabaddha. So now we will get into the Shanti mantra of this Upanishad. Apyayantu mama angani. This mantra is very good and meaningful because it is taking into consideration both physical and spiritual health of all. This mantra is related to health, स्वास्थ्य के लिए है और बीमार लोगों के लिए बहुत ही जरूरी मंत्र है. आप्यायन्तु मम अंगानि. May my limbs, different parts of the body, develop well and be strengthened. And especially Vak, the speech, Prana, the vital force, the vigor in the body, Prana Chaksha, the eyes, Shrotram, the ears, Balam, the strength, the vitality, the vigor of the body, and Indriyan, the rest of the sense organs and the motor organs existing in the body. Apyayantu mamangani vak prana chakshu shrotra matho balam indriyani. Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam. Sarvam. You see, whatever disease we are bearing at present in this body or experiencing is due to our bad action, our sinful actions in the past births. पिछले जन्मों के पाप कर्मों का फल है जो इस जन्म में रोग के रूप में हमारे सामने आते हैं. पाप कर्म का कारण क्या है? What is the reason for the non-virtuous actions that we have done? The reason is that Dvaita, duality. He is different from me and I am different from him. He is cheating me, therefore I have to. Due to this, all types of bad actions take place by us. Sinful action. Therefore, what should be the attitude or the perspective towards this world? Sarvam Brahma. All this, whatever is existing and whatever we are experiencing, other than myself also, including this body, what are these? Say Brahma. It is not Brahma, the creator. It is Brahma. And which Brahma? It is still very clearly one that is revealed in the Upanishads. It is that non-dual Brahman itself manifesting in front of us in different forms with the help of Maya. the primordial matter. It is also called as primordial matter or ignorance substratum. These are the philosophical words used for Maya. Ignorance in general is our avidya, and ignorance substratum is Maya, the Ishwaropadi and Jivopadi. Or to differentiate, they say ignorance for Jivopadi, the adjunct to this Jiva is avidya, only ignorance. And the adjunct to the macrocosm, the Ishvara, is called as primordial matter, the Maya. So with the help of that primordial matter called Maya, Brahman, which is non-dual, manifests itself as dual. As dual, not dual. Because it cannot become dual. It seems to be so. That's why we say as dual. Dvaitam eva. It is not Dvaita itself. Advaita can never become Dvaita. If it becomes, it is gone. It cannot be absolute then. It cannot be mortal. It will become mortal. So, whatever manifestation that is being seen by us due to our own ignorance of our own self is all Brahman itself. It is just like the painting is on the cloth on which you are painted. All the paintings, all the pictures are what they? They are nothing other than cloth. They are indifferent to the cloth. Without cloth, none of the pictures can exist. So you can say all these pictures are nothing but cloth. But the perspective changes. In which view you are telling, based on the basic stuff of the picture. Similarly, when we say all this is Brahman, that does not mean that these are all absolute existence, absolute consciousness and absolute bliss. We are just saying it. It is being seen on the Brahman, on our own self. Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari. It's just like a scenery that we are seeing on a mirror. So the whole world is being seen on the Brahman. Therefore, which is the basest stuff? Is Brahman. Weaving through that stuff, keeping that in mind, through that perspective we say, Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam. It's not in reality that this world is itself Brahman. It's not like that. So, Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam, Maham Brahma Nirakuryam. May I not deny Brahman anytime. Denying Brahman means being separated from Brahman, denying your own self. That is due to ignorance. The phrase says, we pray, may I not deny Brahman. Mama Brahma Nirakarot. Similarly, Brahman, may he not deny me. Ma, the second ma is mam. Asmadishman में त्वाम को माम आदेश हो जाता है. The त्वाम you actually put into it mam because it's in the second place of the shloka of that particular pada. Mam Brahman Nirakarot. May not Brahman deny me. May I not deny Brahman and may not Brahman deny me. Both the ways. मैं ब्रह्म का निराकरण ना करूं और ब्रह्म मुझे निराकरण ना करे. Here again he goes. This is not the pure Brahman again. Because pure Brahman cannot deny anybody. Now here we are coming to Saguna Sakara Samashti Ishvara Brahman. Qualified universal macro consciousness. When we are saying Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam, it is Nirguna Brahma. When we are saying Mama Brahma Nirakarot, it is Saguna Brahma Ishvara. Because denial or rejection of anybody or from another person can be non-duality. It cannot be a non-dual thing. The Brahman being in this non-dual form cannot deny me at all. Because I am nothing other than it. Therefore it is from Saguna Sakara Ishvara form, Samashti. May he not deny me. Anirakaranam me asto, Anirakaranam me asto. May I not be rejected. And may I not reject Ishvara. And may Ishvara not reject me. Why? Tadatmani nirate. Because I am in the pursuit of self. I am not denying self. I am in the pursuit of self. मैं उस आत्मा का चिंतन के लिए लगा हूं. मैं उस आत्मा का खोज में लगा हूं, अन्वेषण में लगा हूं. I am trying to realize my own self. Tad Atmani Nirate. Niratam is pursuit. I am behind that self. I want to realize that self. I want to experience my own self. Due to I am in that pursuit of realizing my own self, let all the dharmas that has been told for a mumukshu repose in me. Dharmas te mayi sandho. Tadatmani nirte ya upanishatsu dharmaha. All those qualities that should be for a mumukshu, for a person desiring liberation, all those qualities which have been discussed and told in the Upanishads, Shanta, Danta, Pradatidakshu ityadi, Sindhu Pradhana Upanishad, Vivek, Vairagya, Shat Sambodhi and Mokshuta. These are the qualities that has been discussed in the Upanishads as eligibilities for moksha, for Vedanta Jnana, for the knowledge of Vedanta. May all those qualities repose in me. Mai santo, te mai santo. Again and again we wish that all those Upanishadic qualities that have been told repose in me. So this is the meaning. Again, the 3 times we speak of Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May not any type of obstacles come in between us. That means between the master and disciple, the teacher and the student, and finally between the supreme and the individual during the study of the Upanishads. Because 3 types of obstacles come. One due to this own body, different diseases, this and that, many reasons. Gastric trouble, constipation, somebody dysentery, some trouble you can't attend the class. Due to the body, due to the external things, nature, Adi Bhautika, this is called the Adhyatmika, due to the body, Adi Bhautika, due to the nature. Heavy winds, heavy rains, and many other things, many disasters take place, due to which you will not be able to study. And thirdly, it is due to the deities to whom we are not offering what we should offer in return. Sun gives us light, what we are offering. We can't even drink a few drops of water. If you don't do, then we are not giving the bill. If you don't give electric bill, the person will come and cut the connection. But the greatness of the Surya is giving light whether you pay him or not. So that what they do, they will be giving you light. But light only external light, not internal light. They will put obstacles to the internal light. He said, no knowledge to you. You are not Jnanadhikari. They'll make your mind run here and there around something and put into Maya. These devatas are the biggest problem creators for a mumuksha. So Adi Daivika, all the 3 types of obstacles, may they not come to us until we are going to study at least, do not experience what is Brahman. So until then, May this Adi Bhautika, Adi Devika and Adhyatmika Dukkha, the obstacles, may they not reach us. That is why we pray Om Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi. This is in concise the meaning of Apyantam Mangani Vakranastaksha Ityadi. So now the Samavediya Talavakariya Chandogya Upanishad. In Samaveda, it is this related to Talavakara Brahmana. Out of that, the Chandogya Upanishad we are studying. Starting with Shankara Bhashya, he says, O Ityetadaksharam Ityadi Ashtadhyay Chandogya Upanishad Tasyaha Sankshepato Artha Jigyasubhyaha Riju Vivaranam Alpa Grantham Idam Arabhyate. Om Ityetadaksharam Ityadi is the beginning of the Upanishad mantra, from where the Bhashyakara Acharya Shankara, the commentator, wants to write his commentary. He wants to begin from this mantra, Om Ityetadaksharam. From here it is Ashtadhyay, 8 chapters, called as Chandogya Upanishad. Acharya Shankar says, what am I going to do? Tasyaha Sankshepato Riju Vivaranam Alpa Grantham Idam Arabhyate. 3 things is telling. Well, the commentary that I am writing is Alpa Grantham, a short volume, very short volume. बहुत संक्षेप में बोल रहा हूं, छोटा सा ग्रंथ लिख रहा हूं, अल्प ग्रंथ. ऋजु विवरणम, the simplest possible explanation, simplest possible, lucid exposition, the exact meaning of this word, lucid exposition, short one, Sankshepa, the concise form also, very concise, but simple language, and a short volume. I am going to start. Idam Arabhyate. Idam Bhashyam. This commentary I am going to start. For whom? Artha Jigyasubhyaha, he says. Artha Jigyasubhyaha. For those desirous people who want to know the meaning of this Upanishad. He never says for Mumukshubhyaha. You see, he is not telling, he is not writing any commentary for to help the Mumukshus. He is writing this commentary to those desirous people who want to know the meaning of this Upanishad. Artha Jigyasubhyaha. Not to Mumukshubhyaha. See the point. I don't know why he has written this word here. Artha Jigyasubhyaha. Why not to Mumukshubhyaha? Because I think Acharya Shankara had known well this is Kali Yuga. And in this Kali Yuga, nobody wants to do karma. Nobody wants to do. There is no use of writing for such people this commentary. Karmanga Udupasana, nobody has got the right to do at present. Because nobody is Agnihotri at all. Nobody has got Vedic fires. The Vedic fires are nobody has got. Once we had listed out when I was in Benares, how many Agnihotris are there in India? And we could find only 27. Only 27 in India. And we have got Brahmana Kshetra Vaishyas around 40 crores. 40 crores. Out of 40 crore Brahmana Kshetra Vaishyas, only 27 poor creature, human beings, you have to say, are doing Agnihotra.
But in Andhra there are 86 Brahmins Nitya Agnihotra.
They say actually, you go and see them, then you'll understand what they are doing. They are Agnihotra, they took the fire and they told 120 houses, they got it together and they said Nitya Agnihotra. Something like that. Both the time we have to do Agnihotra. you should have a cow. You cannot eat other than his wife's hands, food. Cooked only by his wife. They cannot go on any vehicle anywhere else. If they go, they have to take the cow. They take the wife. Wherever they have to go for karma. Because in Benares we had one Somayaga. So we tried at that time for Agnihotris. Because the Yajamana who is here was giving money for Somayaga. He is not Agnihotri. So we have to buy one Agnihotri who will be a Prathinidhi for this Yajamana, and he will do the Somayaga for that Yajamana for the good of the country. That was the thing, that we want a Prathinidhi. Somehow we have to buy somebody. So we went on finding, and at last we found one in Andhra, in Nellore district. He was ready to come. But you see that Agnihotri also, he came by train. Where you will take bath, where you will get the well? In railway station is there well? 1.5 days. He cannot take bath from a tap water. He has to take water from well. There are rules there. So that Agnihotri was a duplicate Agnihotri. Not a true Agnihotri. But he was doing both the time. Fire he had got a cow and wife and all. That is okay, the rest was okay. But certain things he was not following. But we said, come on, one is at least coming. That's enough. The others, one other fellow said, no, I can't come. You have to make a special truck. On that you put all the grass and all, and make it like a hut behind, remove the body of it and make a hut like. In that one, the husband and wife will be there. Another truck for the cow, the third truck for the feed of the cow and our food materials. And it may take 15 days, 1 month also, we don't know. You have to start any day from here, because whenever we see a well, we'll stop there only. Because we don't know where we'll get a well further or not. In that village only we'll be there. We will do our work, and then next day we'll start. In between, you go and find out where are the wells. You will go first. Survey the route and decide the places of stoppage, and also decide time needed to reach to your Benares from here to there. So actual Agnihotris are like that, very strict. They can't move at all. So we found only 27 out of that. Also one was duplicate, and he came and he did the job. 99% he was following the rules. Only a few he was not done. But anyway, it was done. So that's the main reason why maybe he said not for mumukshus. Very true mumukshu. And he wanted to do Nishkama Karma Yoga. Nishkama Karma and Karmanga Upasana. Such a moksha you can't find. You should be doing karma nishkama and upasana in that nishkama karma. If you are such adhikaris, if they are, then only he can write for mokshubhya. Such mokshas only upasana.
Granthas where he has said mumukshu.
Yes, because the other granthas there is no karmanga upasana. Here this karmanga both upasanas are there. The upasanas depending on pure karma. And most of the part it is there. In the Upasana part, half is it. Two chapters and 2 Brahmanas. It's up to there it is going. In the rest, 2.5 chapters, Karma Nirupeksha Upasana. So, in the Upasana part, half almost is Karma Sapeksha. Therefore, only such people can be given this Upasana who wants to know the meaning of it. That is why he wrote Artha Jigyasubhya, not Mumukshubhya. Tasyaha Sankshepato Artha Jigyasubhya Rijuvivaranam Alpagrantham Idam Arabhyate. So, other things that he has told is that I am writing a very concise form of commentary. This is, even though it's very, very elaborate, but not so elaborate as Brihadaranyaka, less than that. So you can say, comparing to Brihadaranyaka, this is concise form. Compared to Brihadaranyaka, this is concise form. And what he says is Rijuvivaranam. For himself it is Rijuvivaranam. For himself. For Acharya Shankara it is simple and lucid explanation. For people like nowadays who don't know Sanskrit, for them it is very, very difficult. Difficult application. They will have to say for himself, and for good scholars of Sanskrit, it is a simple explanation, lucid exposition. For others, it is a difficult explanation. They can't understand anything. So, Rijivaranam and Alpa Grantham, a short volume, Idam Bhashyam Arabhyate, this commentary I am going to start. So, it starts, first it says, we have to say the relationship between the past 2 chapters and this rest of the 8 chapters. And he has not written any commentary on that. He has to give the reason why. For that it starts, Tatra Sambandha. The relationship between the last 2 chapters and the rest of the 8 chapters that we are going to study. What is that relationship? So in the past 2 chapters, what we have studied is Samastam Karmadhigatam. We have studied in that the whole rites, all the rituals necessary that has to be known for a Chandog Shakha Brahman, or any person of belonging to Chandoga branch, what all knowledge he needs regarding the rites of Brahma, Kshatriya and Vaishya. Because every Shakha, every branch have got their own rites. What has to be done, what is not to be done, how and when. These are answered. In everywhere you find all the, before the Upanishads, you will be having the karma part. These 2 chapters, they have discussed very well about karma, the rites, the rituals. Karma adhigatam. Pranagnadi devata vijnana sahitam archiradi margena brahma pratipatti karanam. Which type are they? That have been discussed. Only pure rites have not been discussed there. Certain meditations have also been discussed there, which are purely related to karma. Prana, Agni, Adi, Devata Vijnana Sahitam. Prana Devata, here you have to take Prana Devata as Hiranyagarbha. Agni Devata, not Prana is vital force in your body. You take this Prana as Hiranyagarbha, because Brahmaloka Pratipatti Karanam is telling. Brahmaloka Pratipatti, Brahmaloka, who is that? Hiranyagarbha. Therefore, Prana means Hiranyagarbha. Agni means fire. Adi Devata and other deities. Vijnana means upasana, meditations related to these deities. Sahitam. Together with these meditations, Samastam Karma Adhigatam. All the rites we have known in the past 2 chapters. What do they give us? Says Archiradi Margena. By the path of gods. Archiradi Marg is called as path of gods. Uttarayan Marg. And Dhumadi Marg, or otherwise Dakshinayan Marg, is the path of mains. M-A-N-E-S. The path of mains is the English words used. Usually Uttarayan Marga, path of gods, and Dakshinayan Marga, path of mains. So these karmas which have been discussed before, which type of they? There are 3 types, he is telling. Mainly 2 types of karma have been discussed. One type is in which certain meditations related to Hiranyagarbha, fire and other deities have been there. Together with that, if you do the karma, where you will go? What you will attain? Brahmaloka Pratipatti Karanam. You can get the Brahmaloka. Up to Brahmaloka, different lokas are there. Many worlds. Supernatural worlds. Those do not belong to this nature that we are saying. They are called supernatural worlds. These are natural worlds, and above that is the supernatural worlds. After Chandraloka, that's where Amanava Purusha will come to take the jivas who want to go further. Restore the Upanishads. Amanav Purusha आएगा. अमानव क्यों आएगा भाई? यहां से चंद्रलोक तक तो मानव पुरुष. Up to Chandraloka, Manav Purusha is taking that virtuous jiva. With all that punya is going and is being doing stuti. अरे आपने एक कर्म किया, वो कर्म किया, आपको तो हम वहां ले जा रहे हैं. They will be doing a lot of praise and taking that fellow up to Chandraloka. There the Amana Purusha come from that the other lokas and they take him. So after Chandraloka up to Brahmaloka, They are called as, that is why, supernatural words. And below that all are called as natural words. So these karma, if done with the meditations of Hiranyagarbha or fire and other deities, they lead you to the Brahmaloka, up to Brahmaloka. Kevalancha Dhumadima, if you do Kevala karma, without Vijnana, without meditation of those deities related to those karmas, if we don't do that, we are just doing karma, then we will be led to those words through Dhumadi Marga. Dhumadi Marga means path of males. The dark path also it is called as. The light path is the path of gods. The dark path is the path of males. Dhum, Ratri, वगैरह होता है, it is called as dark path. Archi, Aha, light path. Fire and all is there. It's light path. That's what it's called as. Kevalancha karma kritan chet dhumadi margana Chandraloka pratipati karan. You will be going up to Chandraloka only. Chandraloka is not this Chandrama. This Chandrama is different from Chandraloka. These Vaigyanikas, the scientists have befooled all the Indians, especially the Hindus. They say, तुम्हारे Chandraloka में हम चले गए. अरे Chandraloka is beyond the sun. According to our Shastra, the Chandraloka that has been discussed as the karma phala, the fruit of the karmas, only karmas, it is beyond the Surya. And this Chandrama is a thing, what is it called, a shootout of this own planet. It's a shootout of this own planet actually. And every planet has got their own moons. How can there be many Chandralokas? So the moons of any planet are just the offshoots of its own planet. They are offshoots. There's certain fission theory takes place and one piece comes out and it moves around that one again. That's called as the offshoot of the own planet, moons. Therefore, Earth has got one moon, some other planets have 2 moons, 3 moons, 5 moons. Saturn has got 8 moons, they are telling now. Before they told 5, now they are telling 8 moons are there to Saturn. So all are not Chandralokas. You will see in Brahma Sutra and all you will study, you will know, knowing there very clearly, the different words will be discussed, the steps. First word, second, third, fourth, starting from the bottom, they go up to the top, up to Brahmaloka. When that krama, the order of the words is decided, is told there, the Chandraloka is above the Surya Loka, which is none other than this sun, which is being seen by us, above that Surya. So there is no question of this Chandrama, the moon, being said as Chandraloka. To attain this, we need not do any karma. We can go to a spacecraft easily. Yeah? So, kevalancha dhumadi margana Chandraloka pratipatti karanam. So, these karma and with the meditations, if done, we get up to Brahmaloka. And if without meditations we are doing only karma, then we will be attaining up to Chandraloka. And the third type of people in this world who are not following any of the karmas. Upasana rahitam, vipassana sahitam, both are not there. No karma itself. What about them? Svabhava pravrittanancha. Svabhava pravrittana. They don't want to change their behavior. They don't want to change their attitude. They don't want to change themselves. Such devil-like human beings. Svabhava pravrittanam. They are living on this earth by their own personal tendencies, natural habits. They are moving on this earth. They are living on this earth, forced by their own personal tendencies. You may tell them, do this, this is good. But they say, no, I will not do. Hey Baba, please, I go to hell. And not do is not do. Don't force me. Such people, Svabhava pravrittana, they don't understand what is good and what is bad. And if you give them upadesha, they will give you better upadesha. They will say, I am Brahman, nothing is necessary. Finish Kanikata. I am Brahman. So why should I do? When I am Brahman, why should I do? Okay, why? If you are Brahman, don't do. That's the only way then. The problem is the person does not realize the true goal of human life. Until and unless a person does not realize the true goal of human life, he cannot raise the maximum benefit of this human life. We should know the goal, and we should be able to identify our own abilities. Usually we have ability, but we think we don't have. I've seen many students, they can do, but they say, no, I can't do. So what can we do then? There's a saying in English, you can take a horse to the pond, but you can't make it drink until it wants to drink. You can't make it drink, it will kick you if you try to force it. Similarly are nowadays disciples. You can't force them to do anything. You can't say them, you do this. You have to do whatever you like. That's the best way. Do whatever you like. Give freedom. They speak of freedom. I want freedom. You are curtailing our freedom. What a guru you are. You are curtailing my freedom. You are curtailing all my freedoms. Don't curtail my freedom. I will do whatever I like. You should just give me Ashirvadam. Just give blessing. That I be successful in what I am doing. So this is the attitude. So they are don't want to change their habits. They don't want to change their tendencies. And every human being has been given this capacity to curb down the natural own tendencies inherited from many births. We have got that ability. The Sankalpa Shakti is the willpower you have to make it stronger and stronger. And just cut down. Asanga Shastra and Dridhena Chitva. It's a Dridhena Chitva. It's a cut down mercilessly. Any wish that comes against your attaining knowledge, mercilessly cut down it. If you can't do that, you are not a human being at all. You are just an animal. You are just going according to your tendencies. See, Gita. In Gita, God is telling very strongly, Dridhena Chitva. He will do only Chitva. Asanga Shastrena Chitva. Some other word can use there in between if you want to complete the chanda. But it's a dridhena, the word you see there. It's a very, very strong word used there. But to mercilessly cut all your desires. I want to study Upanishads. I want to study the Upanishads through Shankara Bhashya only. So that I can realize myself in the right traditional way. Because any knowledge that has been attained in non-traditional way cannot give any fruits. Acharyat hi prapta vidya sadhishtha bhavati. See what it does there. Acharya Purusha, that is, I am not talking about that. Acharyat prapad vidya sadhishtha bhavati. आचार्य से प्राप्त विद्या ही सफल हो सकती है. अर्थात क्या है? परंपरा से प्राप्त विद्या. Jabalopanishad. When he asked, you look like Brahma Jnani. He said, whoever might give Upadesha, it's of no use. Until you, Acharya, never say that to me. You should say, Tvam Brahmasi. Then I am Brahman. If you don't make me realize, even though I know, but you will not give any fruits. So that is the main thing. For that you have to go through the whole thing, the depth of it. Even though I studied all this from my childhood itself, listening many satsangas, great scholars, orators we can say, orators, command over English and command over Vedanta, command over Sanskrit. Such good people I have heard, but still from my heart it is not satisfied. Until and unless I do not study Sanskrit, and until I have not heard this bhashya through my Acharya Guru, I could not feel that I have got something from the Vedas. Since the age of 4, as this mind knows, I am listening. But still every time when I read the books, commentaries of Vivekananda, this and that, many commentaries I have read in all languages. But still all the time feeling that I was not knowing Sanskrit. I am not able to read the Bhashya myself and go into the depth of it properly. just depending on the commentaries. It's not possible. I gave up everything. Came first to study Sanskrit. After studying Sanskrit, went according to the parampara, found a guru properly for different subjects, got hold of all the basic subjects and necessary proper foundation of all the Dvadasha Darshana, all the 12 philosophies. Then lastly went to this guru who had come here on 7th, Swami Ramananda Maharaj. From him I heard every bhashi, everything, which I have been hearing from long time. But after hearing from him, the light that sprouted is totally different. The experience that can never be forgotten. So that is the main reason that I stress to all the students, study Sanskrit. Because if you are able to know yourself, what bhasha study? First you know, you understand the word, read the words, understand yourself the general meaning of it. Then if I say on that, that will produce a special light. That unfoldment which has to take place will take place then only. So, but all people are with Svabhava Pravrittanam. They are moving on the natural tendency. They don't want to study at all. What can I do? I can force them. So, Svabhava Pravrittanam cha Marga Dvaya Paribhrashtanam. They will never get any of these paths. The path of gods or path of males, none of them they are going to get. They will die here and they will take rebirth here. Maybe as an animal, with no guarantee of being a human being. Because you have not used this human body properly. This gift has been given to you to attain moksha. And if you not misuse but abuse this body, misusing is better, but abusing is horrible. If you are misusing or abusing this body and not utilizing this properly to earn this knowledge, yached avedit atha satyam asti no ched yavedit mahati vinashti. Kena Upanishad. If you are going to realize being in this body, you have done the work that has to be done. Otherwise, you are going to get destroyed. So, Svabhava Pravrittanam, how are they? Marga Dvaya Paribhrashtanam. They are not eligible either for the Uttarayana Marga or Dakshinayana Marga, the path of gods or path of men. But what will happen? Kashta Adhogati Rukta. For them, he says, Adhogati, they will go downwards. Downwards from where? You are already a human being. Above it is Brahman or gods. Below that is animals. Downwards you have to go. Adhogati. And how it is? Kashta. All types of miseries are there. All types of sorrows you will have to bear. There is no question of a tinge of happiness, a drop of happiness. The reason is you have misused the human body for bodily or worldly luxuries, worldly happiness, for sensual happiness. And you have moved according to your own natural instincts inherited. You have not curtailed it, you have not curbed it mercilessly. You have not tried to divert your mind's notions towards the Upanishadic knowledge. That's the main reason why he is telling Kasta Adhogati. Even though what God says, Chinna Brahmiva, he asks Arjuna, what will happen if a sadhaka will not attain moksha in this birth? Dadami buddhi yogam tam, Srimadam Brahmananam kule. He gives rebirth as human being, but condition is what? You are on this path. If you are on this path and you have not attained the goal, you will be given rebirth as a Shrestha Brahmana in such a Brahmin house who are Vedics, who are from their tradition properly doing the Nitya and Naimittika karmas only, and do not do the Kamya karma That means they do only the obligatory actions, occasional or optional actions, and expiatory actions. Expiatory actions. That means Nitya karma, Naimiti karma, and Prashchita karma. Never the fruitful desired actions, Kamya karma. Whatever actions, karma they do, will be always nishkama. That means fruitless, undesired actions only. In such a family, I give birth, and there also it says, Dadami buddhi yogam tam. I will make such an atmosphere that from the birth only, while he is in his garbha only, he will be getting Vedanta sadhana. He will get Vedanta knowledge. So that thing happens only if you are on this path and not attending the call. Otherwise, kashtava, adhogati rupa.